Well, we're not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
But that's a great sound check.
Okay. Got it.
We just need like a few like a minute or so that we can share it, and then people can get the notification that we're live streaming.
Yeah, can Emily share it too?
Mhm.
Real quick.
Wait 2 seconds. Let me edit this.
Excuse me.
Okay, now you can share it.
Share.
Did you get the notification?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Well,
good.
It's not popping up.
Well, your phone doesn't work.
Technology.
Yeah. You gotta get to 12, man.
Something.
Work some OT.
I don't know. Let me check this thing. Cause it's your tagline says adult entertainment service.
Does it really?
Yeah.
It's fitting.
Okay, so yeah, it. I don't know why it didn't send me the. It normally sends me the notification, but it did not.
It's all good. We're good to go.
So
Somebody's phone's up.
might be mine.
Happens every time. There you go.
I can't remember the last time I saw you, the last time I felt you, dear. If I could go back, I think I would go to December of our sophomore year. We met on Main Street in downtown, our eyes to the sky, our ears to the ground. We were just kids then, with nothing left to lose, nothing left to prove. But I moved from St. Petersburg up to Chicago, knowing good and well you'd be the only one that I know. But you were worth it then, 'cause it was always all for you. It was 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 always all for you. The leaves were singing harmonies and limbs, and we were the singing wind. Our fingers were strings of a bow, and they locked, turning heads towards our orchestral sins. Then your loving gaze, it turned into a daze. We got lost in your daydreams. You were always moving closer, then farther away, and I was stuck somewhere in between. But I moved from St. Petersburg up to Chicago, knowing good and well you'd be the only one that I know. But we were worth it then, 'cause it was always all for you. It was 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 knew it wouldn't. And in between for you, I'd do it all again, even if I knew it wouldn't. And in between for you, I'd do it all again, even if I knew it wouldn't. And in between for you, I'd do it all again, even if I knew it was all for you. 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 It was all for in between for you. It was all for you. Even if I knew it was all for in between for you. It was all for you. Even if I knew it was all for in between for you. It was all for you. Even if I knew it was all for in between for you. It was all for you. Even if I knew it was all for you. It was all for you. It was all for you. It was always all for you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Holy cow. Here we are, episode 19 with Della Memoria. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I got to say something. This show wouldn't run without Mitchell Gruich III.
Woo!
I called my friends at the company. I'm friends with the CEO, and I had to make you something very special. It's custom. They don't make these. It's a custom white Yeti cup.
Whoa.
It keeps your drinks frozen, cold, and super hot at the same time.
It
So there
better
you
say
go.
KrohnKast on it.
It does not. They wanted like $40 extra, dude.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate it,
You're
man.
very welcome.
Thank you so
Wow.
much. Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
thank you. Merry Christmas.
Della Memoria, Emily and Josh. Holy cow!
Hey, I didn't get Mitchell anything. I feel really bad about it.
No, we didn't get the memo, guys.
You did. You're
Yeah.
playing. You're playing.
Oh,
You're
okay.
playing tonight on KrohnKast live. This is amazing. This is great.
We're glad to be here.
So excited that you guys are here. You are the dream power couple of the
forgot
coast.
what- yeah.
Uh,
That's
The dream-
exactly how I would describe us. Yeah.
the dream power pop couple of
Yeah,
the coast.
Dream Power Pop. There you go.
or yeah. I mean, there's nobody else on the coast that sounds like you guys that does what you do. I mean, your last EP was very, very, very like like when you play before you moved to Louisiana and you played the song that you were mixing for working on, and I was like, Josh, this is like Katy Perry level, it's competition here.
Whoa.
The production, the mixing, and everything. But yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went the extra mile
Holidays.
today and decorated the studio. We got a $10,000 fiber optic tree behind me, custom made just for us. We got a wreath over the O. We got what else we got? We got some other lights going on.
Poinsettia
Yeah.
/ poinsettias.
Yeah. Fix these cameras here.
Also, want to give a shout out to a special lady in the
Uh-oh.
studio tonight.
Oh, where's she? at?
You were talking about this show wouldn't be possible without me, and I want to say truly it would not be possible if it was not for my beautiful wife who's joining us tonight in the studio.
Oh, hey.
And I don't, you guys probably don't know this, but my wife is probably your biggest fan.
Aw.
Aw.
And I was like, you want to come actually, be in the, because she's never been to a podcast before, so this is her first night being in the room with us. And also she gets to listen to you guys because you know how it is with kids, and it's hard to find a babysitter. And I was like, yeah, if we can manage it, come hang out, drink some wine. Emily's gonna be drinking wine. And I think I'd messaged you like, I don't know, like 2 years or 3 years ago, when we had our first child, and we drive around and we put your CD in the car, and and it actually put Kaylee to sleep when she was being really, really cranky. That. One of your songs, it was just like, as soon as your voice would come on, she would chill out. That's awesome. And when you were sound checking earlier tonight, and you hit that your vocal doubler pedal, I was just like, oh wow, it's just like, it's like this choir, from the heavens. And it kind of stops you in your tracks, like, because you to hear it like that close in the headphones, it's amazing.
Thank you. I see why you like us if we put your child to sleep.
That and a little bit of NyQuil do the trick. You know what I mean?
So you guys are playing some songs tonight, or are we? What kind of a selection or do you have on the queue for us, for the audience tonight?
We've got a little bit of everything. We've got one from our first EP called Beautiful Dream, which one of my good friends, Melissa Mott of Isley and Oak Photography, took the cover art for that album. And we'll be playing one off of The Ebb, which was our sophomore EP. And we'll be playing one off of our next EP called The Flow.
I recently got a chance to talk to you guys on the Red Radio Show, and I had the EP sitting next to me, and I completely forgot to show. And I also forgot to bring it again tonight.
That's okay.
to plug it again. But Emily, I wanted to say you had put a post not too long ago about, hey guys, here's the thought, for musicians, hire us. We are for hire. We could play ambient music at your Christmas parties. We could be, and I just thought that was an absolutely great, fantastic idea, because it did multiple things. It said, look, not only are we available to provide, this help you with your ambiance, but also, you're not just Della Memoria playing, songs. You're not in this box, right? You're more than that, and I was like, that's a fantastic idea, because I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was having a conversation with Josh, and we used to have lunch before you guys moved to Louisiana, and we were having lunch one day, and I don't remember what we were talking about or why we were talking about, but we were talking about how to make reoccurring revenue, how musicians could make reoccurring revenue. And I don't know if we were talking about like royalties on songs or Spotify or whatever, but I had mentioned like spas, getting in on the spa streams, and I saw like one guy made like $200 or $300, and he wasn't a ambient musician, but it was his side gig where he'd make $200 or $300 a month. And I remember having this conversation with you because you I think you had talked about like maybe doing kind of something like that, and I was like, dude, hit up the spa websites, because the masseuses, they get tired of listening to the same shit over again, and so you submit your songs, and then they pay you make the revenue a month, and it's kind of endless opportunities, because you're not just one spa that you're tied to. It's all over the country, all over the world. So I mean, he's raking it in, and he just cranks out the whatever, pay his bills, and then goes and does the rock thing,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I very well remember that. And also going to Massage Envy, and they don't just take your demo there, turns out. But we did talk about that a little bit.
We did.
And we're definitely into it. Spas, if you're listening,
spa
hire us. We'll play in the spa. We
will relax your mind.
Emily and Josh
puts babies to sleep. We'll come to your spa.
Emily and Josh are gonna stand in the corner while you get a massage.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get your money's worth.
But we're gonna watch you really intensely.
Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But piggybacking onto what you were posting about being hired to do the ambient, did you get any bites on that? Because I thought that was such a wonderful idea.
Not yet. It's a weird climate right now because of COVID and everything. Like, I think some people are still trying to just lay super low, which I get. And honestly, I probably wouldn't be comfortable doing super large house parties or anything, but I've noticed, honestly, what inspired me to do it was a lot of my Facebook friends had been posting about how they just missed. I'm sorry. Posting.
There
about
we
how
are.
they-
Now we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. How they missed live music, and I too can relate to that. That's one of the biggest things I miss about this pandemic. And I thought, with Christmas coming and everything, I prefer experiences as gifts. So I thought, why not have other people gift experience by music? So.
It's the best.
It is.
Getting someone to give you the gift of taking your kid,
Right?
Yeah.
to have an experience with them.
I was going to say, this predates the pandemic.
Yes.
The missing
know.
live music goes back to about 3 years when our daughter was born.
Yeah.
Shout out to the grandparents.
Yes.
Yeah.
For real.
They made
The
me-
lifesavers that,
Right.
that allow us to keep the music going.
Absolutely.
But Josh, so when I got here earlier, you had made the comment like you guys are doing podcasts, doing the podcast circuit. Are you guys doing tons and tons and tons of podcasts? And Emily, how do you feel about performing on podcasts?
Honestly, this is incredibly out of my comfort zone. I was just actually talking to Melissa earlier. We went on a walk today.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm really nervous about this because I feel like it takes a long time for me to get my thoughts where I want them to, where they sound eloquent, and it's hard for me to not just like word vomit in interviews.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why we are highly lubricated
Let me tell
with
you
whiskey.
Let me tell you something. You should see some of the people we've had on here. We have a disclaimer at the end that releases us from all liability. Yeah, we've had.
You don't want to be responsible for your hate crimes, Josh.
You're doing fine.
Right.
You're doing fine. When y'all do play live, do you usually play as a duo, or do you have a drummer, a bass player? Like,
It just depends. Back in our heyday, we had a drummer. We had a few different drummers play with us, and it was fun. It's a whole different vibe. But lately, obviously, we haven't been playing at all lately. But when we were playing, it was the two of us. We would play like wine bar gigs, and sometimes it would just be me. I would play for coffee shop gigs and things like that, and it just totally changes the vibe depending on what it is.
what do you prefer?
I like playing rocking gigs. I love having a drummer. Pat McGinley used to play drums with us, and I think that 3-piece setup was probably the favorite of mine that we've ever been. Because
That was with Josh on bass.
with Josh on bass, and Pat McGinley is just like an outstanding rhythmic drummer, and he made me look at rhythm so much differently, and I write differently because of it, and I try to think of like, counter rhythms, like things I wouldn't typically think of in writing music. So I'm really thankful for that experience.
Yeah.
He's great.
I was going to ask you guys, now that Phil brought it up, about the different reincarnations, because I know you had 2 or 3 different drummers, and so was it always a 3-piece with each drummer?
No. Good question. I think it started out as a 6-piece. Della?
It actually was a 6-piece at one point.
With all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Not only a drummer, but an auxiliary percussionist with a djembe and
Isn't that the best?
and a glockenspiel.
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
That's the best.
I think there was
Gosh.
one show where we had 2 drum kits
Yeah.
and maybe a djembe as well. and it
Yeah.
was just-
Yeah, we had Barry Pribble playing
Yeah.
drums
I mean, you
too.
go big or go home, right?
Right. That was crazy, and it was at a tiny little bar in Ocean Springs. So
very small bar,
yeah, with 2 drummers playing at each other.
You can't be
facing
playing
each other.
like Dream Pop in Ocean Springs and not have 2 drummers.
We've been doing it wrong
was a fun
every
show.
gig since, I guess.
That was
Yeah.
a fun show though.
It really was. And but from there we played as a 4-piece for a little while, and
Wayne Mott played with us.
yeah, Wayne played with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was Wayne and Tommy was in your outfit for a bit.
Yeah,
Tommy's
yeah.
an excellent drummer as well. We really enjoy playing with him, and Wayne Mott, he's an excellent guitarist.
Yeah, they're
So-
both way better than we are at music, so
Yeah.
it brought a
Yeah.
whole little technicality
Yeah.
and musicianship that we didn't have.
Yeah, shout out to Quiet Hands, by the way.
Right on,
Yes.
quiet hands.
I had the great fortune of just doing the tracking for Wayne and Tommy when they were in what was the last band they were in? It was
Moose.
no, it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
Brother
the
Mountain?
Eaves.
Yeah,
Mm.
and
that's it.
and I had
Yeah.
a storage unit down in Ocean Springs, and they just wanted to track the drums, no guitar, no bass or anything, and so so Wayne and Tommy showed up, and I had all my stuff set up, and I was expecting for Wayne to play along with Tommy, and I'm like, okay, Wayne, where's your guitar? And he's like, oh no, it's just Tommy. Like, what? And I'm like, no, you need a metronome? No, I got it. And he everything was mapped out in his head, and then if they got to like Wayne sitting there listening to Tommy play just the drums, and the tunes are going through his head, and I'm just like, these guys, I mean, obviously know each other enough to play to I mean, they're reading each other's minds, and they hit like a little problem spot or whatever, and they'd be like, oh no, I do the thing with it's like bum 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 bum, and you need to go da, 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 da. But I mean, it was like the first time I ever recorded anybody where there's not a bass player or a guitar player going along. So I mean, and they're not even married, and you guys are married, right?
I mean,
you're already telepathically communicating right now, right?
Yeah. You don't, all kinds of stuff. They're awesome, incredible people. They map their songs out, like you said. They know exactly.
How long did they play with Della?
Tommy played with us off and on for, I want to say it was like a year.
I don't know.
And Wayne's been like our bro. He lives 2 doors down from us, and we kind of just like call him randomly and be like, hey, he actually might be tracking guitar on our one of our songs for our next album.
Cool.
So.
You are lucky cats. I bugged that guy.
We're like, you have no choice. We know where you live.
Yeah, he's definitely like one of the because of the way that he can play. I always say cut through the mix, right? Cut through the noise, and he knows how to puck it in, and fill that space. But was it where you guys are playing like shows with ease, and then they're like, well, you want to come and be the rhythm section, or how did that happen come to be?
So Wayne was actually playing drums with us, I think, for a little while after Pat left, and
so Pat was the first drummer.
Pat was the first drummer.
Official drummer.
Yeah, and with us for the longest time. Our first album, or EP, that's Pat playing drums.
Yeah.
And so then Wayne brought Tommy in to play drums, and he played guitar and bass, and I played guitar and bass. We'd kind of swap off, right? I think.
Yeah.
What is time? I don't know.
How many times have you played the grocery?
Oh gosh, some of our funnest shows were at the grocery. I have such fond memories of playing there. Yeah. I
remember this one performance you had, and me and Ashley, we were so excited to come out. Like we got a babysitter lined up. We're gonna party hard, and it was right after we had our first kid, and you guys were playing. So she's super excited. She's like, doesn't ever come out the house, but she's gonna come out the house to watch you play. And I was like, yeah. And then the babysitter canceled, or somebody got sick or something, and we couldn't make it. And it was just like all our dreams were crushed.
We do ambient private house shows, actually.
That's what I'm talking about, Ashley.
$2,500. They'll come to your living room.
We'll do it for one white Yeti.
Special edition.
Right.
Custom.
So you guys got another song lined up? You got another song usually?
Some music.
We haven't had too many musical performers on the show this year, and this is really exciting because this is we've had acoustic, but you guys are the first electric.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm sure it sounds amazing on everybody's phones.
I hope it's not underwhelming.
Yeah.
On our part, I mean. Okay. Yeah. This next one is going to be a song off of our second album. It's called Bright Screens.
Cool.
Which you can find us on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, all that jazz.
Aim to please, but I don't know how to get there. So I guess that's how I end up here, pumping poison through my veins. I aim to leave, find a way out of my own hell. I push and pull and then I tell myself to remember the names of the people you met in December. It's so real, it's true. It's hard to remember the times you felt most alive, going through the a smile. Technology, the only thing that's holding my hand. It's kind of becoming my best friend, despite the soul surrounding me. And I'm to blame. I can take life by the reins, calling new friends by my name instead of staring at bright screens. Oh, the people you met in December, it's surreal, it's true. It's hard to remember the times you felt most alive, going through the motions, drinking magic potions. Of the people met in December, it's surreal, it's true. It's hard to remember the times you felt most alive, going through the motions, drinking magic potions, take you with a smile.
I'm glad I left you on mute for that one, Mitchell.
I was trying to scream away from the microphone.
That's all good.
Share my excitement.
We get these cameras right. I have a request, by the way. I don't know if you guys are playing it tonight. Are you playing yours?
We are not.
Oh, great.
Cool.
I'm
Awesome.
sorry. We're
Glad I asked.
We have a 3-year-old at home, so we have to be very specific in like our practice sessions. What we don't practice, we cannot play. I apologize.
Okay, well, you know, it's
Yeah.
whatever. I'll just
Sorry.
so listen.
On our Facebook page for you.
Okay,
though.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
So speaking of having a kid, what's it like now that Della is a family unit?
Well, it's amazing because our daughter's amazing. She's hilarious. She says funny stuff all the time. Like she told Josh today that he's bossy, and she tells me that things are too much. Like, she said, did you paint this? Did you paint this picture? Yeah, that's too much, mommy. That's too much. I'm like, all right. But she's amazing. But it definitely, we have to curate time specifically for music to make sure that it keeps happening. Yeah, it's great. We love her.
Wow.
Is she watching now?
I hope. Hopefully, she's going to sleep for Josh's mom right now. But we'll see.
Hopefully.
That's what that's so when I first started coming on here with Phil, that's what Ashley was doing at home, because my daughter would be like, "Daddy, where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going to hang out with Mr. Phil." And she's like, "What are you gonna do with Mr. Phil?" I'm like, I'm gonna be on TV with him. And so I'd get here, and once we go live, Ashley would show her the stream, and Kaylee's like, "Hey, Daddy, hey, Daddy, hey, Daddy."
She's so cute.
Yeah, she is.
She's adorable.
Such a beautiful family.
They're okay, man. when they're being good.
I don't have any kids, by the way, so there's no stories
you got
coming from
Conan.
over here. I got a dog. He's amazing.
They're children too.
Yeah.
Daisy is our firstborn.
Oh,
Little
Yeah,
people.
and tell us about that dog, man.
He's a golden retriever. His name's
Oh.
Conan. He's
Yeah.
probably the best dog in the world. I don't know.
Probably.
He's-
Daisy, our dog, can't compete. We'll get. Yeah, he's better than her.
Josh hates on Daisy so hard.
What kind of dog is Daisy?
No, she's a good dog.
Sounds like a wiener
She's
dog.
a good dog.
She's a beagle. You were close.
Okay.
She's one of the short ones.
Part wiener though.
Part wiener.
She's a beanie.
She's a beagle hound.
A weagle?
Beanie. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Should have let my dog in here during the stream.
Aw,
Would
you
have been
should.
it would have been mayhem, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too late.
Mayhem is fun.
Yeah,
Jump
we're
all
not-
over you.
yeah, you chew your ankles. He goes for your tendon on your ankle. It's not good.
Oh, nice.
It's not good.
So Emily, you were talking earlier about, or you had mentioned about being, I guess, nervous coming on, trying to get your thoughts together, and I was asking about playing on podcast, because it's kind of like, the new, I guess, a new venue for musicians, independent bands to kind of venture into now with the way that everything is with the pandemic and people staying home. So like, everyone's at home watching this from their couch. They're not out in the cold. They're not risking their health, getting sick. And it's just kind of, blown up, the whole broadcasting medium with podcasts, especially for musicians. Do you think you guys would, pursue that, could keep playing on podcasts like this, or
for sure
you want to get back to just playing live? Or,
I like how cozy this is. I mean, I like it. I could get used to it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just not used to it. But totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when the everything started with coronavirus, we did a live stream for like coronavirus relief or something, and it really I enjoyed it, like playing live. It's a whole different beast, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, we prepared for it as if we were playing a live show. We even had a drink beforehand and put on clothes, and I didn't wear shoes.
You do a full rehearsal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
And it was great. Like we ended up raising, what was it, $600
like
for direct relief for COVID, the nurses
cool.
and everything. And it was really awesome because I was like, these people are, it's almost scarier because they're sitting at home on their couch and they can judge you super hard. At least if they see you live, they have to pretend to like what they're listening to a little bit.
Yeah.
To an extent, but
I also feel like it's kind of nice because, playing in a bar, there's always a high percentage of people there that they're not really interested in whoever's on stage.
Right.
They drink and then they go outside or whatever to go sit. And with this, they're only going to tune in to watch you if they want to watch you, if they want to hear you.
Right.
Which it weeds out the noise of who's really paying attention, and I love that. I guess you were saying how this is a nice cozy environment. With me and Phil playing in our previous bands, they were punk, metal, hardcore, whatever. When I know for me, when I played house shows were always way more fun. Right. Anything goes. But playing in bars, there was like more rules, and you didn't get to play at all ages, and and a lot of people aren't there to listen to you. And this though kind of like whittles it down big time.
Right.
I love when I'm working, I'll put on a podcast, of somebody a band that I want to listen to, or listen to them be interviewed, and and it's just it's a your target audience is actually responding, in the comments, which is
cool.
Great. So I feel like it kind of unites you with the people who really, really want to support you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're live.
If only if you hang up really nice acoustic blankets.
Right.
Props to you, Phil, because these blankets are the bomb. You did a great job.
I appreciate that.
You guys are doing it right. This is an awesome.
Yeah, I didn't use a level when I built the shed, so it's a little. I don't know if it's up to code, but we don't have to worry about that. But these acoustic curtains are amazing, and they made a huge difference in this room because before, I'd have metal bands in here, and it would just kill your ears. You couldn't hear anything. It was just so echoey. But once I put these, there's acoustic panels up behind all these curtains too. Once I put all this up, we're good to go.
Yeah, you did a great job, man.
I feel good about it.
I mean, when we prep the room, you saw earlier, it's just kind of tornado at first, trying to get the cameras and the microphones to work. But then there's like little things, once you get the cameras work in, and it's like, oh, there's a bucket in the background, or there's a paper towel roll over there. And, just little things that it's just like, oh, get it out of frame, it's like let's make it look nice. We had somebody on, and I forget who it was, and they made the comment. They're like, the magic is all in how you frame it, because you could be anywhere. You could be in a bathroom, nobody knows. And I've seen there's video game guys, and they get on and they're in their closet, you know, with a green
Yeah.
screen behind them, and you would never know, you know, because they have like a super nice microphone and whatever behind them in their
Right.
chair swiveling, and you would, unless they say, hey, I'm in my closet because my wife's sleeping in the bedroom next door,
Right.
you wouldn't know. You
Right,
wouldn't know.
right.
They're not in $1 million studio.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have
Yeah.
students that do that. I'm a teacher too, so I have students that they're like in Tahiti while they're in class. It's really
Yeah.
funny.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I go to a
Got
lot
the
of
palm
meetings.
trees
and-
breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
It's
That's-
amazing.
we need to get a green screen.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Not with
We're
these
not doing
blankets,
that.
these beautiful
No,
blankets
yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Podcast on the moon.
up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're too,
After I've developed your brand to be black and white.
yeah, we're too big money for that. Yeah, great color scheme on the graphics, by the way. I love it, just black and white.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with this.
What we got lined up? A couple more songs in the up your sleeve.
Yeah. How many more do you want us to play?
All of them.
All
Yeah.
of them. Let's go.
All right, let's
Better
do
get
High
started.
Hopes. This is an older one. Let me turn my volume up first.
How high does it go? Tell me, lovey, how high does it grow? I want to know. I want to. The soil I will want to. I want to. The soil I'll help it grow. I'll help it grow. High hopes I've got to
Very good. Very good. Very good. So, your next EP, where are you recording that at?
Our house. We have a studio, which is also Josh's office where he works from home. And we do all the recording in there. And Justin LaFrame Boys does the production magic, which he's done our last couple of albums. And he will be for this one as well.
All of them. Yeah. And he lives down the street too. So,
what road do you live on?
CP Killers. College Park.
We just all kind of live next door to each other.
Yeah. Nobody on my road does music or anything. They all shoot deer and stuff.
Yeah, but you have horses.
Yeah, they ride 4-wheelers and
they
do none of this. I'm the only guy.
It's a production avenue down there, man.
I know. I need to move over there.
The old Tin Pan Alley of Mississippi.
Borrow some equipment.
But,
come on.
Justin's got his own band, and
him and his wife are doing some awesome stuff.
I don't think Wayne's actually playing right now, is he?
He is a little bit. He's a firefighter too, so that takes up a lot of time. And there was a giant fire last week over in downtown Gulfport.
Bass Road, yeah, big one. Bunch of homeless people set a place on fire.
Some antiques.
Are you guys gonna form like a super group? Is that in the works?
Man, honestly, it takes us so long to do anything right now with a kid, as you can probably understand that we kind of just go at our own pace, and it's not a fast one.
Analog Missionary is a band that we've been compared to, who's from down here, and they're really, really great. But they kind of give me hope because they all kind of took a hiatus because they had families, and now they're back into it. So I'm like, it doesn't have to end,
After we had our second one, it kind of became really, really apparent to me that playing with other parents, musician parents, actually just makes everything easier because they understand, and I couldn't believe the difference between, no offense to Phil because he's got a dog.
It's a good dog.
Yeah, it's a good dog.
But
he's a handful.
Playing with dudes that don't have those responsibilities, versus playing with people who do, they get it. They get it, and I don't know. You just get in the room, and I'm like 10 times more happier. It's just like, I mean, I don't know. It's a new revelation. At least for me to be in the room with another parent musician. Like last week, I was jamming with like 3 other guys, and they all had kids, and we could sit there and talk about snot and poo, and everybody got it, But also everybody knows their own schedules, and everybody's got a spouse that needs them to be home at a certain time to help with the kids, and we're like, yeah, dude, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like, but they're willing to make it work because you have to juggle family and this love of performing as well, and finding that balance. And shout out to my wife again, who's here, because she's over there drinking all the wine, so that you're not the only wine drinker tonight, Emily.
Thank you. I don't want to be
but if it wasn't for her, I mean, holy cow, I wouldn't be able to do anything. I wouldn't be able to come out here and drink whiskey with Phil, or make noise, with Scott. And I mean, it's just, she's the reason all this is even possible.
I have to say,
Phil's like, I don't know about that.
She's never done anything for my dog. Let me say.
I've got to say, me and Emily being parents and in a band together makes that a little bit more difficult too, because we have to involve our grandparents whenever we want to do anything or play shows anywhere.
Right.
Right, but like if we were to schedule getting together with Wayne or something like,
totally
no,
absolutely.
I see what you're saying.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It's just
probably playing with. Well, you're so lucky that you live down the street from Wayne.
It's true.
because
everybody wants to.
He's a great guy, but also I mean, he's a great musician, but you've known him for a long time, and I was gonna say like maybe the difference between playing with Wayne, who has a kid and knows the ropes, versus playing with someone that would be great for their band, but
right.
a hired gun, so to speak.
It's
yeah.
Consideration for sure. Yeah.
Someone that's just there to do the job, and
right.
Because
I will say, I did not understand parenthood until I had a child. Like, I can't say that enough. I used to say that I think I posted on Facebook the other day that I used to say I would be one of those parents that like we weren't gonna watch CBS Kids or like Cocomelon or Peppa Pig. No, that wasn't gonna happen. We were gonna listen to Iron and Wine and Sufjan Stevens. And now I joke all the time about how like we fall asleep with Cocomelon and Peppa Pig and Bluey stuck in our head, and that's just our life right now, and that's okay. That's okay.
Shout out to Bluey. Bluey is the best.
Bluey's great.
The best.
I will
the
say.
best kids show.
I will say.
But and Phil, I gotta say too, we've never had a golden retriever, so we haven't walked a mile in your shoes.
Thank you for that acknowledgement and validation, because it is hard. Because my dog at 5:30 a.m. every morning is at my bedside going, "Ooh, I gotta pee."
Like a child,
I got to get up, let him out.
Dude, no joke. Our dog, I'm not kidding when I say she's like our first child. She wakes up if it's trickling rain. It doesn't have to be storming. It was trickling rain the other night at like 3 a.m, and she's barking at the top of her lungs like a baby.
Yeah, and she's more work than Adeline in some ways.
In a lot of ways. She's a beagle, so she burrows, and so we ended up having to let her in our bed to sleep with us, and so then we don't get any sleep. So really,
nice.
To your point.
Yeah, I would say raising a dog is harder than raising a human child.
It is, because like when I go to work, like I bring them over to my parents, and they take care of them, and and if they're gone for the day or they're out of town or something, I have to have my brother come check on them during the day, because I don't keep them in a kennel. I let them run around my house.
You're a great dog father.
Chew up. Yeah. I couldn't do the kennel thing.
Cool.
A lot of people like kennel train their dog. I couldn't do it because I just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep them in a cage all day. Like, but I went through some couch pillows. You know what I mean? I went through some rugs.
That breed kind of goes through.
Yeah.
Our shed is like a rug graveyard. We've got like 3 rugs in our shed right now that were beautiful rugs. Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way though. That's amazing.
Dogs are great.
You wanna do another song, and then maybe we'll get into a little history.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm excited for this next one, because this next one will be on our upcoming EP called The Flow. Follow up to the ebb, like the ebb and the flow. So yeah, this one is called Lock It. I'm hoping to do a music video for this one too. So if any videographers who are watching this, holler at me. All right.
Stand up for this one. Serious business.
Let me get my shakers.
Supposed to, I'm engrossed in the ghost of you. Oh, I tried to want it all. I tried to silence this emotional violence, but you got me in your pocket and you're inside my locket, but I locked it away. It hides in my darkest box, so why then are you still in the front of my thoughts? Oh, why then are you still in the front of my thoughts? Oh, why then are you still in the front? I don't know what's real. I keep fantasizing masochistic islands. Oh, I live in my mind, surrounded by oceans. I get off on emotion, but you got me in your pocket and you're inside my locket, but I locked it away. It hides in my darkest box, so why then are you still in the front of my thoughts? Oh, why then are you still in the front of my thoughts? Oh, why then are you still in the front of my thoughts? Oh, why you've got me in your pocket and you're inside my locket, but I locked it away. Oh, why it hides in my darkest box, so why
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that one is short.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that one.
Yeah, I think we recorded that one, and it's like the recording is like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and we're like, man, we got a whole nother minute if we're gonna make it to pop radio with this one that we have to fill up, but we're not going to.
The EP you guys are recording, when's that due out? Are you in the process? Are you going to record it?
It's kind of been tentatively finished soon for the last 6 months.
That's
so,
the last song
nice.
that we have
the
to
last
do
song we're
for
working
it.
on.
How many songs are on it?
It's going to be 5 or 6. We're undecided about whether or not to put the last one on there. So, but yeah, probably 5.
Cool. That's perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the age of the internet, you don't need 12.
Right.
That's right.
I was just thinking,
Yeah.
going back to like it being a short song, we were grappling with whether or not we should add, a bridge or like do something to the chorus or add an instrumental to make it longer. But I feel like the attention spans, especially of this generation, are so short.
Yes.
And that it doesn't matter. You don't have to have that 3.5 minute song anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what you got is perfect, especially for commercial purposes.
Right.
You don't need Dream Theater 30-minute songs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although that is fun.
Yeah, that's
It
cool
is fun.
stuff.
It
I
is
know.
cool.
I was just listening to a podcast today that was talking about Holy Diver by Dio and how daring it was that he waited like 1:20 before he sang anything. But the podcast was actually talking about Pat Boone, who's like a more loungy type croner. Did a metal cover album where he covered that song, and he too waited 1:20 or something. So anyway.
Oh my God, that Death Cab for Cutie song, I Will Possess Your Heart.
Yeah, Death
like
Cab, man. They just
6
vamp on
minutes.
something forever.
I love those long songs.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
good stuff.
Yeah, I like those epic, just long, drawn out, carefully thought out masterpieces like that.
Yeah.
Right on.
Josh, I just poured it straight, and there's a Pepsi can right there.
Perfect. Don't need it.
Oh, whoa, we got a gangster in the room.
Emily, you were like what, like 5 punk bands, like 1 screamo band, and Josh was like in a folk band. And then you guys like you played a show together, right, in a basement, and then that's how this all happened, right? Something about
I was in a metal band. I was the lead singer of a metal
and
band.
you
You're
swapped
in a metal
scarves,
band?
right?
Yeah.
You swapped scarves, right? It was scarves.
That's it.
Yeah, my
it
metal band was called M's Revenge.
The folk punk
Yeah.
scarves.
Right.
Funny story. I actually was in a Christian rock band that was kind of metal back in the day.
That's
Okay.
dope.
Yeah, I got kicked out by my brother.
How rude.
Yeah. They were good. They beat us, my high school band, in a contest to play at the prom or something, and
It was
we were
called
really
Forsaken.
bad. Yeah.
To play at prom?
To play at prom. Yeah.
How does that work?
In the committee that decided its defense, we were just playing like Out of Tune, Weezer, and White Stripes covers. So,
I would have voted for you. Babe.
thank you. Thanks.
No offense,
I really
Taylor, if you're
appreciate
watching.
it.
Were they the
Man,
better?
yeah.
Were they the better band though? Like, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
Okay.
Except they were missing like a certain feminine vocal because they kicked their girl lead singer out at that point.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I don't hold a grudge. It's okay.
Yeah,
Love you,
yeah.
Taylor.
Should have booed him.
Right.
Boo.
He's actually who taught me how to play guitar. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can't hate on Tyler.
That's
Right.
sweet.
Right. Now, and Emily, you were in a band in college, kinda, that never played a show.
I
Is
was
that
in a
right?
band with a student who was studying to be a doctor, who is now a doctor. Philippa, if you're watching, I see you, girl. Yeah, I was in a band. It was like a 4-piece, and it was called Atlas. We never played a gig, but that was my first experience trying to get out of my shell, kind of, because I was I'm a naturally shy person, and I started kind of playing around with open mic nights in college, and I actually did an open mic night competition thing where I won like $50, and it was like this huge deal.
Wow.
And so
What'd you do with the $50?
I probably
Bought some smokes.
bought some beer, or I probably went shopping at Gadzooks or whatever was around at that
Yeah,
time.
probably so.
You get some of those Jinkos.
Yeah,
Gadzooks.
definitely
You bought those
Yeah.
Jinkos that were on sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
talk about Jinkos with me.
Uh,
I was
Yeah.
a Jinko king.
Man,
No.
it's as big as the state of Mississippi.
You can fit 9 wallets in one
Nine,
pocket.
yeah.
I think it's like an official staple of the Juggalo uniform.
Is it really?
Yeah. Absolutely, it is.
I know when I got
so much Fanta in your
look. I
Jinkos.
know when I got my first pair, I was the coolest dude in the damn school in 7th grade. I got my first pair of Jinkos, and they were
believe
like
it.
$89, and my mom was flipping out like, I'm not doing it. I was like, you don't
Yeah.
understand. You don't
Yeah.
understand. She's like, these are stupid. They cover your whole shoe.
Mhm.
That was a status symbol. That was like the Coach purse for
Yeah.
like rock kids.
And Birkenstocks.
It
You
was.
get Birkenstocks.
It was a big deal.
That's
It
right.
sent the signal to all the other kids that you like Slipknot.
Yeah.
You're down with corn.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal. That was
Part of the corn culture.
That was right in 1999 when all the bands that mattered came out.
Yep. That's right.
So you didn't get to play prom. Your band didn't get to play prom.
No, we didn't. And that's the end of that story.
It's too bad.
We
Were y'all bitter about it? Did y'all like talk about the other band?
No, we weren't very good.
I would have been. bitter.
Very good. I'm sure
Yeah.
you're good.
No, everyone in that actually everyone that was in that band has gone on to be a wonderful musician.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
Not me.
Okay, so Emily got $150. She went to the gas station to buy the beer. You didn't get to play prom. You're standing
Yeah.
outside the gas station. You're like, "Hey, would you
That's-
please buy me a 6-pack? Cause my band didn't get to play." And that's how this started.
That's how this
Can we cut to a
began.
montage real quick
Yeah.
about how?
I like that story
it
better.
happened?
I like that
Yeah.
story better.
I have so many stories about how you
Yeah.
guys got together.
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
I like the
Yeah.
metal band, the one where you're the metal, where
Yes.
you're.
M's
Yeah.
Revenge. M's Revenge.
M's Revenge. Yeah, we can
So much
make that a
angst.
thing. Yeah.
Brutal.
I guess the real story though.
you're the band that you were in played the VFW.
No, but I did see what was it, KFP
Mm-hmm.
and Stereo Hype play at the VFW. When I was a kid, or 14, 15-ish, there was this awesome band called Recovery Period that I was obsessed with. I went to a house show at this guy Mitchell's house, who is you.
Never heard of them.
Yeah,
There we go.
it was awesome. You guys were awesome. I would fall asleep listening to your CD, but not in the way that Emily puts your daughter to sleep, because you guys were really loud.
In a creepier way.
Yeah. They would pass out.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if anybody wants to put their kid to sleep with me screaming.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
He's talked to me about that before a couple times. Like,
Yeah,
remembers it fondly.
yeah. I gotta find
Go
the
vote.
CD. Yeah.
Go, folks.
Yeah,
remember
I was telling Josh, like this past summer when you came over to jam, and Josh was saying, "Oh man, yeah, I found the old CD or whatever," and I was like, "God, if I could go back in time and just do it all over again and completely do it different way," and
What would you do different?
so many things,
Okay.
many things. But the
That's
main,
every CD
the,
though.
the main the main thing I was telling you was like all the undertones of like social equity and social politics that outlined the songs. I felt like I never did a very good job of making that come to the surface, because a lot of people would just go to the show and see this guy up there, and if you're a musician, you're hearing this progressive structure, which was somewhat attention captivating, but lyrically, because you're just vomiting on the microphone, and to show some kind of intense emotion about what the subject is, it didn't ever really communicate that, hey, this song is about someone being a victim of rape, or this song is about someone suffering domestic abuse. And obviously you see tons and tons of bands screaming and yelling to a microphone, but you don't ever like now in my old age, I see bands doing that, and I'm just like, yeah, I call them daddy issue bands. And when I was a young man, it wasn't a lot of the contemporary bands of that genre were singing songs about heartbreak, because that's when emo blew up. Right. So you got all these emo boys singing heartbreak songs, and I wanted to redirect that focus to other things besides heartbreak. But I feel like I never did a very good job. So thank you for the compliment. It's very humbling. I can't believe that you enjoyed it.
Oh man, a lot.
You probably don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy listening to you guys.
Everyone,
That's for sure.
Everyone is their own harshest critic.
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all killed it. No regret.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think back in those days, Mitchell played more shows than just about anybody in the state of Mississippi.
See, and that's one thing.
I bet
If
you're
I
right.
had a time machine and I could go back and change Phil, it would have been taking that energy into playing so many shows and making better quality recordings.
Yeah.
Because now I go back and I listen to those songs, I'm like, oh, this is just total crap.
Well, that's
you know?
everybody.
Man,
That's
I thought
Sorry,
it was
Josh.
so cool.
You know, I will say,
really thought it
Josh
was so cool.
is a harsh critic. He is a harsh critic, and he's not just fluffing you up.
Sure.
He has told me several times. Hey, now. Do I need to be jealous? I'm sensing some real vibes between you two.
Good Lord.
Um,
Calm down.
No, you are right. There are vibes, but Josh is one of the few people on the code. Like he had them. I don't know if you still have the Merge Records sticker on the back of your car.
Yeah, I don't have that car anymore, but I was all about Merge and Saddle Creek, and we had
exactly.
a lot of
yeah, and I was so
yeah.
excited that there was somebody else that was on the coast that could relate to those bands, and like we go have lunch and just talk about gear and that type of music, because I feel like you're like a you know, one in a dozen, you know, being able to communicate musically on that level to someone.
Right.
You know, Phil's a metal expert over here,
Thank
but
you.
there's like 200 dudes, probably more, that are in the metal genre down here. So it's like Phil's got like 200 friends, right? But if you listen to Superchunk, I feel like there's like me, you, and maybe like one other person that probably likes that band on the whole coast.
right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, I feel like, you know, fish out of water
Yeah.
with.
That's true.
I hear you. It's a lot of the reason we connected was over music. I feel like Rilo Kiley was a band that we really bonded over.
Definitely.
And we like on tour he had a headphone splitting earbud thing, and we just like jam out to these bands that were like kind of obscure, and it kind of was like a cool connection for us.
Yeah.
Do you work differently in music than you do domestically? Like I was making the joke earlier about who's the boss, right, in this band, because Emily was kind of telling you what to do a little bit, and
I'm
you
a teacher. I was a teacher.
and you were doing it with a smile on your face, and that's, you know, every husband's job.
Shots
And Ashley asked me to do something.
I do what he says
I just
too.
do it. You
It's
know,
true. I'm
and-
boss. I'm equally bossy.
But
more
like
bossy.
in the musical dynamic, do you work different than you do like in the family dynamic?
It's a loaded question. Like in
It is a trick question because you have to answer it correct, Josh.
our relationship dynamics, are they different?
Right. So like I forget. I was asking somebody this question about I know what it was. They were talking about how the band communicates through a group chat, right?
Uh-huh.
So my question to them was, when you're talking music ideas here, are you sharing like, you know, hey, I think we should change the key of the signature on this part to this part, which, you know, or we should change the major to the minor, or should we incorporate a third? Should we go to a ninth, a fifth? Is that kind of conversation? That was my question. Not to you, but to another band. So I'm just using that as an example in the way that you communicate.
Okay. One of the things that's always drawn me to Josh is that I can show him a song really organically, just in its rawest form, and he plays around it, and he's a really super dynamic player. And even from like the first time I ever heard him play, I was like, I want that guy in my band. Because Della formed when I moved back here from college. I had every intention of going to teach that year, 2012. And I met Josh around that time, and Della started, and I was looking for band members, and I met him, I think, at a bar. And I was playing in a house full of drunk people, and I at the time was very shy still, just had graduated college, hadn't had a lot of experience outside of just open mics playing music, especially my own music. And I was playing one of my songs, and Josh really showed a lot of interest in it, and I was like, well, that guy my band, and he was really cool, and the rest is history. So we were BFFs for a while before anything ever happened.
Wow.
You guys did you were in Roscoe for a hot minute, is that right?
Yes.
And
About 3 years, yeah.
Did you go to, was it Germany or Europe with them when they did
I
the
did not go to
thing,
Europe.
the
That was
contest?
Jason Sanford and Jenny Flint and Barry Pribble.
Neil Ladner.
Neil Ladner and Alex.
Yeah.
They all went and competed in Europe for the Hard Rock Battle of the Bands, and they won, which was awesome. And I really love that form of Roscoe, like that. They had a cajon for a drum, and it was very
skiffly. It was really cool,
very raw, and it was really awesome. But yeah, I moved back home from college and ended up with Jason, and Roscoe happened after Della had already started, and
you were in the music video.
Yeah. Josh was in What Was Me as well, and I was in Time to Begin.
I was on set at that music video watching.
The sidelines.
They let you in there.
They let me in.
But yeah, we're super very grateful for that experience. Roscoe molded me personally as a musician.
Definitely.
I was gonna say you played bass in Roscoe.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask, like, from that, did you kind of like figure out you musically connect?
So we actually were in Della before Roscoe and playing.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how like you focus on one thing and then you end up going and being something else, kind of like as a side thing? Like I was when I was going through your photos to build out the opening scene photos, there was the one that you guys did where I think it was maybe you were playing with somebody else in Mobile or something. And but it was you playing, I think, bass again, and Emily was playing keyboards, and there was somebody else singing, and you guys were part of a bigger group.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was
probably
last year, I think it was, when you were playing. You did that. It looked
last
like it was
year
like
and probably a year before. Abe Partridge.
Yeah, we love Abe.
He's a phenomenal songwriter that's actually doing really well, both with his folk art. Have you heard of Daniel Johnston? You know, The Devil and Daniel Johnston, famous musician / artist that, like, Kurt Cobain wore his shirt on MTV and it blew up in 1992.
The alien shirt that says like, where are you? Or
the little frog.
Yeah.
This is hi, how are you? Yeah,
they did a documentary on him.
Yeah,
I don't think it's on Netflix. It's on something.
That is a great documentary, though. Definitely worth the watch. And he was a great songwriter that also kind of did his own little weird brand of folk art that was like 80s comic inspired folk art. And Abe is similarly an artist.
He's excellent.
Great musician.
I can't speak his praises enough.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't.
Classic woman.
There you go.
No, I wanted to say that I think that it's so great that you guys once again, going back to your whole post about being available to play parties, you don't limit yourself to this box, right? You're like, yeah, we're just in Della and we're only in Della. You're like, no, we go and play with other people. We jam with other musicians, you know, with Abe and Roscoe, and you know, it's just you are expansive.
Well, to me, being a musician is multifaceted. So, you know, one aspect of it is recording, which is very different from playing live. And another huge aspect of it for me is connection. And I love making connection with other humans through music. So one of my biggest connections I have is, do you know Cat Island Coffee House in Pass Christian?
Heard of it.
Sean, one of the owners of Cat Island Coffee House, he and I connected, and we just kind of vibed immediately, and I started playing at his coffee shop with Josh, and I've played several house shows through him and his connections, and that's how I kind of found that that's what I gravitate towards, because it's at those more intimate environments that you really have an opportunity to really connect with people through your music, because like you said earlier, at bars and things, people are just trying to like get their drinks and get drunk, or like eat their chicken and watch the football game and go home, and I'm like in it for the connections.
Yeah.
So
do you feel that is effective when you're playing the coffee houses? And I ask that because your voice is so commanding that, like, once again, using the example I did earlier, when you kicked on your vocal doubler, you know, it just kind of like it stops you in your tracks, like when you hear you sing. So like when you play in a coffee house, does everybody just shut the fuck up so they can listen to all the beautifulness that you perform? Or do you feel like you're competing with people trying to get their cappuccinos like you would in a bar?
No, I don't. And I feel like it's because in a coffee shop or a wine bar, as opposed to a bar, you're not really competing with that, because people are usually kind of and chiller.
Chill.
You know, usually when people go to a bar, they're there to party. And I'm not hating on that. Like, there's a time to play. Like, that's fun, too. That's when the drummer comes into play, and that's fun. But when I'm really, like, trying to connect with an audience, it's awesome to have a place like that because people are looking for an outlet, I feel like, to channel. And I feel also I need to plug Jim Pennington of, it was the listening room of Mobile. It's now the people's room of Mobile.
Yeah, didn't they have like there was another bar called the Listening Room up
Yes, and
north,
it was
and
this
they
big
like went
thing.
after him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was this whole thing. It was so stupid.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, they are now the people's room, and I do need to give a huge shout out to Jim Pennington because he's been an avid supporter of us and excellent human being. He actually gives proceeds of his money that he makes to the Humane Society there in Mobile.
Wow.
A huge animal lover. He's just an excellent fellow.
Yeah.
And it's a true listening venue. He will
Yes.
kick people out if they won't, quiet
Really?
down.
He will kick people
Yeah.
out if they're not listening. It is truly an immersive experience.
Yeah,
It's
I have
amazing.
watched videos of Analog Missionary there a lot. They
Yes.
play there a lot,
Yes.
and I love watching them.
We've been trying to get a show with them, but then like the pandemic happened. But I really, really want to get a show with them.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you could. Once they clear all this stuff up.
Yeah.
You guys want to knock out another song?
Sure.
I'm hyped
Yeah.
now.
All right. You want to do Where I Sleep? Speaking of like
okay.
rockin' venues
Yeah.
versus listening ones, we're gonna play a more rockin' one.
Good.
That is way cooler with the drummer, but this is what you got tonight. So
Loving it.
Man,
This is fantastic, by the
Yes.
way. This is like you couldn't put a bow on this.
I feel like I should pay for this.
no,
You know what I mean?
we're having fun. Okay, so I need
You're drowning in your sorrow, boy. You've created for yourself. You act like there's no tomorrow, boy. Wipe the dust off of the shelf. Get yourself out of this web you built. It's getting dust. The water is gone. You spit it when the lights got rusty. They got rusty. Your eyes, they scream at me like diamonds breaking in the dark. The colors shattering and slowly shattering, but don't you know that's where I sleep? Don't you know I'm in too deep? I'm drowning in your sorrow, boy. I've created for myself. I've misplaced my heart, so I borrow, boy, from those who offer help. Get me out of this web I built. It's getting dusty. The water is gone. You spit it in the lights like rusty, rusty. Your eyes, they scream at me like diamonds breaking in the dark. The colors shattering and slowly scattering, but don't you know that's where I sleep? Don't you know I'm into your eyes? They scream at me like diamonds breaking in the dark. The colors shattering and slowly scattering, but don't you know that's where I sleep? Don't you know that's where I sleep?
Hey, that
Yeah.
was really good. Really, really, really good.
Thank you for saying that.
Loved it.
Yeah. Talking?
Let's do another
Are
song.
we talking?
We like
Are we going
talking.
to another song?
Yeah, let's do another song.
Okay,
Oh,
let's do Paralyze.
That's a good idea.
So we plan on doing a more stripped down, like folky, acoustic-y album, and I want to do like 10 songs on that one, because of a lot of our older songs are more folky, and like you said, being boxed into something. I feel like we've kind of been trying to like fit this mold of like dreamy synth pop or whatever, and we're, I feel like you're morphing constantly as musicians, and especially like musicians turn into parents trying to be musicians still. We have to adapt. So we're not in a place really where we can play with a drummer or like, go play with a laptop and put all that time into something. Right. So we're going to just do something more stripped down and raw for our next album. And this next one is One We Rode that's going to be on that one. We don't have a name for it yet, but the song is called Paralyzed.
Did you drop?
Let's do it.
Can you look away? Oh, I can't seem to find the words to say. They escape, well they always escape. From my brain to my mouth, they found their way out along the way. 'Cause you paralyze me. I can't move, I've forgotten how to breathe. Just like a heavy current swallows you whole, catching my breath and narrow in death under your mercy. Oh, 'cause you paralyze me. When I think that I know, when I think that I know which way to go, you look at me. Paralyzed by your eyes. Oh, a sea of green enraptures me, wets on my ankles to swallow it. 'Cause you paralyze me. I can't move, I've forgotten how to breathe. Just like a heavy current, you swallow me whole, catching my breath and narrow in death under your mercy. Oh, 'cause paralyzed. Falling and 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 falling. Falling and 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 falling. Falling and 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 falling. Falling and 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 falling. Falling and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. Falling and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. Falling and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. Falling and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. Falling and falling and falling and falling and paralyzed. Falling and falling and falling and falling and paralyzed. Falling and falling and falling and falling and paralyzed.
this is a special Christmas episode. I
Can
tell
you come to every show we play? Can you be our hype man?
And there's whiskey there.
I leave after you guys get done, or any band gets done. I'll leave his mic muted for a few more seconds, so we don't get our ears blown off. Good stuff, though.
Thank
you.
Oh my god.
Like angels in my ears.
That's what I said earlier when she kicked on the thing. I was like, what did I say? I said that I felt like a choir of angels. It was just so ethereal. And I love your doubler.
Thank you. I'm obsessed with this pedal. This little pedal is my best friend. Get her. It's a Boss VE20, which was sold to me by Jenny Flint, who was also at Roscoe Bandit.
Did you see where Mariah Carey had recorded a grunge album?
No.
What?
And didn't release it.
I'd buy that.
But a snippet got released, and she said one day she would put it out. But she kind of did it for fun. She was recording an album, and there was a studio available down the hall from the main room. And so she would pop in there and record some. And in the snippet I heard, I think it sounded like Pink, like something Pink would do. But it was what she was calling it her grunge album, and it was kind of like cheek and tongue to kind of piggyback a little bit off of the grunge popularity.
Is this like during the grunge era that she recorded it?
Yeah. It was. I want to say I think it was the late '90s is what the article said.
I don't like it. I don't like it now.
I think it was like I think it was like a Consequence of Sound article. But
Trying to get in on that.
You were mentioning earlier that you wanted to do like a more stripped down acoustic album, and I was going to ask on the flip side of that, what about like a really loud rockin' album where I come in and make a lot of feedback?
Yeah.
We were just talking about
I mean, maybe that fits on the folk album, and it's just like Mitchell noodling with like a million pedals.
Yeah. I kind of want to, I'm serious. Like, I kind of want to do it all.
Can we bring your metal band back and have Phil play metal drums?
M's
M's
Revenge.
Revenge.
M's Revenge.
Featuring
I'll
Mitchell.
How you feel about being in a Christian metal band?
I can
Phil?
do it.
All right, you're
I'll
right.
have to read my Bible and listen to more metal first.
I love
but-
Jesus.
What if you just had like a stack of Bibles and you just like threw them out like while you were like performing?
Yeah, it's like aggressive
it's a-
Christianity.
make people like
Yeah.
catch it,
Very cool.
But no, I was just talking to Josh earlier about how I really want to play the drums. Like, really, really want to play the drums.
She's really good, by
I
the
can
way.
kind of play. Not to toot my horn, but my brother, and I give the credit to my brother because he was a drummer growing up. He was in the drum line in the band with me. I played oboe, not as cool, but I think it's fun to play the drums, and I've always thought it would just be so fun to like get the microphone on my face and just play drums.
Yes.
Or play bass. I've always wanted to.
So
do
you want to be Jack White. You want to be the lead singer of Della, but you also want to be the drummer. What's the band that he's in that he just plays drums in?
These Crooked Vulture?
No, that's Dave Grohl. There's a band where he just plays drums in. I forget what it's called. It's got the singer from Discount. Deadweather. Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
I know he knows
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I know he sings and plays in it as well. But for the most part, he was saying he just wanted to play drums in it because he did like the full band with Rocketeurs after and then this was just kind of like his drum, like Jay Massis from Dinosaur Jr. He's in a band, I think it's called Witches or something like that, and he just hammers on the drum. I mean, because he's he loves playing drums. So Miss Emily, are you just gonna be the drummer?
I will do it all. I honestly, I feel like a lot of the songs that I write are very emo and like thought-provoking, but I would love to just write songs that don't require a whole lot of thought, that I can just like bang a drum with or just relax to.
Yeah.
Because
I feel the need to interject here and say that Emily is a phenomenal drummer, actually. I mean, she's really okay. Maybe phenomenal is like pushing it because you don't like. Yeah, I mean, you don't practice daily, but her sense of the rhythm is so good that on our last EP, there's a song called Storm, and she recorded that. She recorded the drum part, playing each part separately because we didn't have like dedicated studio mics. So we would do like one take where she's just playing the floor tom, and then another mic where she's playing the rack tom and the snare.
It sounds incredibly complicated.
It's insane, and she can do that. She can like, okay, this one you just hit this drum on the E and of 3, and she just records a track like that.
That goes back to Pat McGinley. He taught me how to look at rhythm differently.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do that.
Well, I mean, it's a whole different beast doing that than than like playing a full kit.
Right.
And they're both hard in different respective ways.
Yeah, like I can't, like, you put a snare drum in front of me, I'm just like anybody else. Like, you got your snare drummer guys.
I don't believe that. Next time we come, you're playing with us.
No,
definitely.
But like I learned I started on a drum kit and listening to Fear Factory. Like that was my start.
Okay.
And so I know the drum kit. And if you put me on a 4-piece kit, I'm trash. If you put me on a 7-piece kit, I'm trash. But on a 5-piece kit, or 6-piece or whatever, I know what's going on. I can
That's
do.
all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should. Do you have a drum set at your house that you play on regularly?
We used to. But then we moved to an apartment. And what did we do with it? Did we sell? We brought it back to Nick.
No, we didn't.
No? Okay.
Which I feel really bad. We had a Slingerland kit from like the early '80s. It was a concert kit, where they only have tom, like the head. They only have heads on one side of the tom, so they're super loud. Yeah. I mean, kind of unusable by like modern standards because they were made like in the old PA days.
Yeah.
When you wouldn't mic drum sets. So anyway, we ended up when we were moving back to Mississippi, we didn't have room for it from Louisiana, and so I traded it for like a ton of guitar cables to a guy that owns an awesome drum shop.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal.
I mean, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Did you ever get your money?
And I think he technically owes me $200, but he was like,
"Yeah, if you're out there, we need a check."
Yeah, he had to like take me aside because he owns this huge music store and he has all these awesome drum kits that he's rented out for movies like Whiplash and stuff. I mean, like big, really serious stuff.
Yeah.
But he took me aside and I was like, "Hey, do you have that $200?" He's like, "Shh, hey." He's like, "My wife doesn't know about that deal. Like, I mean, I can give you a bunch of PV cables." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Yeah, if I could suggest, that electronic kit that I got back there changed everything for how I play, how I record, how I do everything with drums. Because I invested so much money in a drum set, cymbals, mics, recording gear, all this stuff. And then I'm taking mixing classes. I'm trying to figure out how to make these drums sound great. And then I discovered the electronic kit.
Yeah.
Now I can play at 1 a.m. I can basically turn the snare drum into any snare drum in the world that I want it to sound like. I can just click through all these different drum sets. When somebody sends me a guitar part or anything, at any point I could sit down with some headphones, turn on my computer, and I'm recording just studio quality drums. I mean, it sounds great. I don't have to do anything except adjust the volume or put a little reverb on it or anything like that. And for $300 you can get a nice Alesis mesh kit similar to that, and do whatever you want, and it's so much fun.
I think that's probably what we'd do if we did that,
definitely. I mean, honestly, a lot of the drums that you hear on albums are just Stephen Slate's. Like there's amazing plugins. No metal drums or guitar are really like you would hear them in practice anymore because they're covered with better samples.
Right.
In metal anyway, and all the guitars are reamped, which we do too. So I'm not knocking it. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
But there's no point necessarily in getting a huge kit and miking it anymore if you're going to try and get that awesome studio quality because you can do it with an amazing sample library.
That's exactly right. And that's why there used to be a big studio desk over there with all kind of gear in it. I moved it inside because I don't need it. Wow. Everything I do, if I record on the electronic kit or I'll record on that X32 beside you and just mic up the kit if I want to.
Cool.
And every time I practice with a band in here, it's all headphones. Like we go all headphones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're quiet.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, everybody's direct in. I got the little the Line 6 pod for the guitar down there.
No way.
And everybody goes direct in to an interface, and we just run headphones out.
So are we the loudest band maybe right now with our real amps?
Yes.
Yeah, you are. You are because everybody else is going direct in.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is direct in,
cool.
and that's how I practice with everybody that comes.
When we do the drummer to drummer series where we have another drummer come in and
Yeah, I saw Gary Cooper.
Yeah,
did that.
Gary,
yeah,
Gary
awesome.
was in,
Yeah.
and Steve-O was in, and
Yeah.
and then we have a guest, musician in between the two of them for them to kind of play off of. And the last one we had, he his amp, his Mesa amp had a cab sim built into the head.
The Triple Crown Mesa head.
And so when it came out,
Right on.
it was already taken care of by the time it got to it hits the interface. So it sounds just like, I mean, he had the cab here. He had the cab with him, that goes to the head, but there was no need to mic it because
Yeah, we didn't even use
already.
Wow.
It was silent in here when they were playing. It sounds great. I mean,
That's
and it's a
crazy.
game changer. When we bring bands in here and they'll play with headphones, they're like, "Yo, we're not in a stinky garage where everything's screaming at us with loud drums." And it's a game changer. They play so much better. They play so much cleaner. It's and the recording quality is way better.
Well, I was also going to say you should also disclaim that the electronic drums, there's a lot to do with the quality of the samples from the module you're coming from. You had mentioned like in a $300 Lacey's is not going to be comparable to like a Roland TD-30.
Right.
Sure. There is a big difference in drum sample and simulation. Because of the way. Remember when we were researching them and how they compile the samples? There's a big difference in the reason why cheap set sounds cheap, especially like when you hit the cymbals, versus an expensive module and the cymbals sound more real.
That's true, but I must disagree because I never use module sounds unless we do the drummer to drummer thing. I always run through either Stephen Slate drums. I have Get Good drums or
you don't use mod. I do though.
Right. Yeah, I don't. I never do. Especially when I record.
I love coming off the module.
I run through a plugin because it sounds just so much better, and I can tweak it however I want.
But
It's a game changer. You should get an electronic kit.
But that's MIDI
Definitely.
land. I try to stay. I don't like MIDI. But anyways, so back to you guys. Back to you guys getting an electronic drum set.
What did MIDI ever do to you?
I mean, so the start. I was getting into you guys doing the folk album, and then I mean, like you're doing Ebb and Flow. It could potentially be a collaborative one big full length album, and then are you gonna come out and do like a Foo Fighters thing where you have the folk album, and then you come behind that and do like a loud rock thing with Josh using fuzz pedals?
I would love to do like a White Stripes-esque album with Josh where one of us is playing drums and he's playing, like, I would love to play drums and he plays bass and guitar.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And just do something rockin', just have fun. Because to me, like I said earlier, music is like a very introspective thing for me. It's almost like an outlet, like a journal. Like I'm just bearing it all. The songs that you hear are basically, essentially, they're my diary.
Right.
Which is why it took so long for me to like come out and do it. But I would love to do something that's just a little less serious and just fun. And to me, that would be like White Stripes. So maybe we could do like Black Squares.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. I'm always in for any music project you want to do. You're my favorite songwriter.
Josh is actually a really good songwriter too.
Well, thanks, but she's a real gem.
She takes the cake.
She takes the cake.
No.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Stop talking me up. Stop talking me up. We're not done with this
Wait
set
until you
yet.
hear this next song.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Something to prove. I wrote this album after a long tour in Roscoe. I think we had done like a month-long tour, and like we were talking about earlier, to piggyback off of that, playing in bars, people are just trying to get drunk, and you're here like, this is your life, your livelihood, you're bearing your all. And it was honestly, going on tour was really soul-sucking sometimes, because people are just,
it's exhausting.
So after getting home from a month-long tour, I was just really feeling like emotionally exhausted, and went home and like had a keyboard in my bedroom. It was like my parents' house at the time. Shout out to Doug and Susan for letting me live at their house when I was 26 years old. I know my parents are so amazing and supportive. They've always supported my music, and I love them. But we had a keyboard in my room, and I played this song after coming home from a month-long tour. So it's called Something to Prove. Oh, I'm still in drop D. That's what's going on. I was like, why does it sound like this?
feels better than day. And you can't find a reason to stay in this town anymore. And time's been good to you. But you're stuck with the feeling you still got something to prove. You gotta leave this town in the morning. 'Cause you're staying up late, sharing your soul with strangers, and the very next day got nothing to show. And the poison you drink, oh, it leaves you feeling thirsty. And the smoke in your lungs sinks deeper than you know. Now wash your sins off with the cloth that's gotten tattered from words and thoughts. Gotta leave this town in the morning. And steam seeps from your lips as you sing into the cold air. You start to miss the taste of his kiss. Once again, 'cause you're staying up late, showing your soul with strangers, and the very next day got nothing to show. And the poison you drink, oh, it leaves you feeling thirsty, and the smoke in your lungs sinks deeper than you know. 'Cause you're staying up late, sharing your soul with strangers, and the very next day nothing to show. And the poison you drink, it leaves you feeling thirsty, and the smoke in your lungs sinks deeper than you know. And night feels better than day. You can find a reason to stay in this town anymore.
I left it muted. It's all good.
I
saved
love
you.
it.
How many podcasts have you played on so far?
Not that many.
Not that many.
Not that
yeah,
many.
I mean,
We're at the start of our podcast circuit. Podcasters.
have we done any other podcasts other than the
This
last
and
one we did and this one?
Red Radio.
Yeah, you did Red Radio and
Red
this
Radio
one.
and this one.
Yeah.
I think that's it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
'cause-
Yeah.
okay. So when you were making the joke earlier, I took it very
Yeah,
very literally.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, we've been on podcasts
Yeah,
all
when-
week, man. And I was like, oh, damn.
Oh,
I thought you were
no.
just fluffing the conversation earlier, like getting it primed.
no,
like,
no,
oh yeah,
yeah,
remember when you said that? And I was thinking, like,
No,
I don't know.
well, yeah. I mean, I was thinking like you probably did like
Yeah.
2 or 3 like this week, and this was like like I think when Pepper was on here, we had the Pepper from Rushmore podcast on one time, and he had done like 4 or 5 podcasts in 1 week. So by the time he got
Whoa.
on here, I mean, he was like, I mean, he was a little, he was a little over it.
Oh no,
It's a good show, though.
Okay.
we're
okay.
happy
Yeah,
to be
but
here.
he's a
No,
trooper.
Yeah.
we've
He's a
just
trooper.
been, Peppa Piggin.
Yeah.
To be
true.
real.
Yeah.
Working and Peppa Piggin.
It's kind of because I bounce back and forth between this and Red Radio. It's interesting to see the different environments and the way that performers react and respond
Right.
you know, with it. And when you guys were on Red Radio, you did acoustic, and then tonight I was surprised you showed up with the electric, because I was thinking you're going to show up with the keyboard and acoustic, and no, it's a whole nother. I'm like, oh shit!
I do
They
miss. I do
brought
miss
the
it.
big guns out.
Sorry we
Yeah,
threw you
no.
for a
Damn.
loop.
Sorry.
Hey, we're very well
so,
equipped for it. It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah.
You guys are. Yeah.
Now, I gotta
That's
say,
great.
we usually with podcasts and things, I played bass a lot, but bass does not sound. I mean, you can't hear it coming out of an iPhone speaker, you know, or a laptop. So we've kind of found I think that we like playing with dual guitars
Yes.
for that reason, and we're enjoying it. Emily's an awesome pianist, I guess is what they call them.
I'm a little rusty. I won't lie. We thought about bringing it tonight, but it would have only been for a couple of songs, so we figured we
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys do any podcasts in the future, definitely bring a
We will.
bring
We
the
will.
keyboard.
There's
Yeah.
a whole
Or
bunch
bass.
of songs.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, there's a lot
That we
that would
played,
unlock
yeah.
a lot of song
in fact,
potential.
Basement, which is one of the songs on our first album, A Beautiful Dream, it's our definitely most rocking
Yeah.
song of that album. And I was playing it. I was trying to get my chops back just in case I played keys for this show. We were just trying to like feel it out what we were gonna do. And I was playing it. And my daughter was next to me because she likes to get next to me when I play piano. And I was playing that song, and she was like jamming out to
Yeah,
it.
that was
Wow.
She liked that one. So I feel like toddlers and babies are like dogs.
Oh,
Like they
man.
have a sixth sense for like what's good and what
Oh
things
yeah.
like that.
Absolutely.
And so like if a baby's rocking out to something, then it's good. Just like if a dog goes up to you, then like you're a good person.
Oh yeah. My dog recognizes bad people. 100%.
No, yeah, it's a real
I've
thing.
had a couple sketchy dudes. over there.
It's a real thing.
Josh, you got a pretty nice pedal board at your feet there.
Yeah.
Does your
Yes.
daughter come over and like dial it
yeah.
in for you?
She sure
'Cause
does.
that's what my kids love to do.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
setting up like for this. You know, it's a matter of figuring out which dials you need to put back. And it used to be something I
Write
knew.
the settings down.
Right, exactly. I used to know the exact settings for everything, but the more we do different stuff and I pull everything off the board and rebuild it and change settings, I forget, and I don't remember all the like settings I use for bass versus what I use for guitar and
Right.
things like that. So now it's Pandora's box. Every time we play a song, you never know what's going to happen.
It's a small price to pay though, because I feel like it's important for us to see us doing what we're doing.
Yes.
Because I grew up with my father playing piano. And so my grandfather played piano in New Orleans. He was in like Port City Jazz Band for a little
Oh,
while.
wow.
And he
Really
was
good
like, an
musical
amazing
family.
pianist. And my dad is also an amazing pianist, so he would never admit to it. I know you're watching, Doug. Yeah, but
What up, Doug?
Yeah.
So I grew up listening to music, and I remember my dad had an electric piano in his bedroom, and he would play music at night, and I remember falling asleep hearing it. And he always said, kids adapt to what they're immersed in, whatever environment they're immersed in. So it's important to me that we immerse Adeline in that environment. And so it's the messed up pedals that are a small price to pay.
And
Yeah.
shout out to Doug and Susan, best in-laws a guy could ask for.
Shout out to the
Oh
in-laws.
my
Great
goodness,
Yep.
incredible.
And grandmas.
And grandmas. Yep.
Yep, he's there. He sees it.
My daughter, I tried to do the looper with her.
Yeah.
So I would like record something and then loop it, and then I'd show her how the pedals, like dialing the knobs, would affect the oscillation or the
Cool.
frequency of the loop, and just to show manipulation of the sound. And she kind of dug it, for like 10 seconds, and then I was like, this is old hat bad.
Yeah.
I need to go to the playground.
No,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Try again next year.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
that, like, this is gonna blow her mind when she makes it do airplane sounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, isn't this cool? This is so cool, right? We can make whale sounds, make it sound like dolphins, and just like whatever.
How old is she?
She's 4.
Give her time. She'll think it's super cool. I teach gifted children, and I have a thing called Google Chrome Music Lab, which is a website which all children should check out, especially musical parents who want your children to go in that direction.
Mhm.
Google Chrome Music Lab is incredible because it's very kid friendly, and it teaches them all about the vibrations of sound and the chromatics of sound and everything. It's pretty amazing.
Huh.
And I did a whole unit with my students on Kandinsky, who he had that synesthesia where he could see color, he could hear color and see sound. And it's a really amazing concept. And I did a whole unit with them on that. And I had them go on that website and go. There was a whole Kandinsky section where they draw, like they can write their name or whatever, and it makes music out of whatever they draw. And it's like super incredible. And it introduces them to music. So I'm kind of like, in my own way, introducing my gifted children into music, because a lot of schools don't have music programs anymore.
Right.
But these kids are so drawn to that. So I don't know. I think give her time and she will.
I feel like there's a great concept for a music video here for you, where drawing and the sounds coming from it, is the music.
Ooh.
Or something. I don't know. My
cool.
the wheels are in the back of my head.
That.
I'm like,
I like
whether it's kids or whatever being drawn, but the interactivity between art and music. I mean, that's the thing I love about the internet, right? Because you always see someone doing something new or different. The other day I saw a video where they there was a photosensitive old cathode ray, like these little mini TVs, and they could use the lines on it, the scan lines to control the frequencies, like as if it was a guitar. And then I saw something where this guy in, I think it was the 70s, he had this weird instrument he had where it was like ribbons, and I think they were maybe aluminum ribbons, and he had like 4 or 5 of them. But placed in his fingers, it made ground contact, so that you could get the frequency depending on where he placed it. And that instrument is not practical. He had to wear like a harness belt, for it to work. But it's not practical. But there's these, it's out there, but you wouldn't ever know about it if if Google wasn't music
Music Lab.
Yeah, Music Lab, didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was actually one of my virtual students. So such a weird year for teachers. It was one of my virtual students. I could see his screen. He was sharing his screen to show me a project that he was supposed to be presenting. And he was closing a tab that he had open, and it was Google Chrome Music Lab. And I was like, hold up, what is that?
I've
what is
never
that
heard
called?
of that.
Yeah, Google Chrome Music Lab. It is so cool. It's really cool. It shows children in a very surface level way different facets of music.
Wow.
Rhythm, melody, harmony.
Like a simple way of understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really, really
Very
great.
fun as an adult as well.
Yeah. So I do STEM centers with my kids, where that's one of their choices, where they can go do Google Chrome Music Lab, because to me that's something that should be in education, is music. And
Absolutely.
it's sad to me. It's truly sad to me that music and art have to be cut, because testing is such a forefront of education. But I'm making sure in my class anyways that music is going to be there in my class.
I'm gonna check that out myself, because I don't know anything about music. You know what I mean?
Now, Emily, since you're a teacher, now that the vaccine is making the rounds, are you looking forward to getting actually back in a classroom with the students?
Absolutely. I will say I feel like I've felt very safe in my job. It's been a very contained environment. Everyone, the children in particular, have done such an incredible job of wearing their masks. I thought going into it in August that they wouldn't, but they've been
I mean, you're incredibly fortunate to be able to say that you felt safe, because we had so many disasters blow up with the public schools, and colleges was just sitting at home, hundreds of kids, because they were possibly contaminated. It was just
right. I mean, I feel really blessed to be able to have been in there with them, because their social and emotional health has been really important too, and I feel like that's been something I've been able to contribute towards. And it's a big, heavy thing. This pandemic has been a big, heavy thing for adults and children alike, but especially children. I mean, they don't have the capacity to wrap their heads around it. Yeah. And
I've heard that from a lot of teachers, the concern for stability, because a lot people I don't think realize in general, there's a good bit of kids that stability of coming to a classroom with a teacher who's listening to them and is there for them. That might be the only 6 or 7 hours out of the day where they're being listened to, feel like they're supportive, they're getting the attention that they need, and then before they go home, and it's a different story. And I know when the pandemic hit, a lot of teachers voiced concerns about that their students not getting that home stability, not home stability, but that in class stability,
getting that outlet, yeah.
Right. Well, obviously, like masking and groups and everything is like a huge part of it, but like I think that the way that it has been going with everyone wearing a mask has been working really well, and I think that it's been great for these kids. Like the other day, I had one of my students tell me that she didn't know last Friday if we were going to have gifted because it was a short day. Mm-hmm. And she said, I got on my knees and prayed last night that we would have your class today.
Oh, wow.
I was like, holy moly, that's like so awesome.
They like you.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Do they know you play guitar? Do they know that you're a musician?
Do.
They know that you got your own punk band?
They do. I'm like completely transparent with my students. I tell them all about me.
Are they watching right now?
I don't know. But we have guitar time as part of our reward system because I have tickets, and I give them tickets for positive behavior, things like being kind to their classmates. Like I only have 2 rules in my class. It's be respectful and follow the rules. And like the umbrella of respect is kindness. And so anytime I see them being kind to their classmate, I give a ticket. If they're being unkind to a classmate, I take away a ticket. And so when they get 5 tickets, they get a treasure. And y'all probably had treasure boxes in your classrooms. And 10 tickets, they get guitar time.
I feel like you're the cool teacher at school.
She is.
You're the one the kids are like, she's in a band.
No, I'm not. I actually played for Hispanic Heritage Month at my school last year, and I wrote a Spanish song and probably completely butchered the Spanish words.
Wow.
Because the school I teach at is very heavily Hispanic, and I was very nervous because I was like, oh God, they probably know I'm like saying all of this wrong.
Yeah, they're speaking fluent.
Right.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I know like any time I've ever tried to like say simple stuff in a foreign language, they appreciate. Even I know I butchered it, and they told me that I butchered it, and they're like, but we appreciate your efforts. We appreciate your attempts. The only time they told me to quit talking was when I was trying to do French. I was in France, and they're just like, yeah, we've had enough. And they're like, just stick to these 2 words. I think it was like, excuse-moi. And because we were on the train, and I just kept bumping into people, or people kept bumping into me, and that was the only thing I could say correctly. But anything else, they're like, yeah, don't. I'll translate for you.
Oui.
Shut up.
I've always wanted to learn French. Always wanted to learn French. Beautiful.
It's difficult. Like I wanted to learn Croatian, and I started trying to learn Croatian. It's just incredibly difficult.
Right.
I can't do the and the and all that. And just like with Spanish, you have to be able to do those.
Right.
I never was successful at it because of a speech impediment. So it's doing it fluently is not in the cards for me.
It's not too late. You're
but
young.
I'm looking into those what's the thing with the ears, and it translates for you. And then so you speak into it, and then it plays it back for them.
Yeah, I think Google's working on stuff like that, right?
I love Google Translate.
Yeah, with the Translate. Yeah, I don't want to learn a language. It seems like a lot of work. I'd rather have an app do that for me.
We got big plans to get.
we got 4-wheelers on Mars. Like, come on.
That's right.
We're gonna go to Germany and find Phil's ancestors.
Yeah, my people are from Germany.
I thought my people were from Germany. My maiden name is Scholes.
Did you do the genetics?
My aunt did. She did the 23andMe or whatever. Yeah. Found out that my family is actually Jewish.
Really?
And we moved to Germany and took on a German last name.
Wow.
Which is hilarious because.
So should we say Happy Hanukkah?
I don't know how much Jewish
6%,
yeah. But my grandfather, we have photos of him holding like the Stein,
like Lederhosen.
Wow. Very proud of his German heritage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have we could still have German in us. I'm not sure, but we definitely have Jewish in us too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You got a song about it?
Yeah.
I have not yet written a song about it.
This song's called 23andMe.
Yeah, I started acting different and dressing different after I got my 23andMe back. I'm like, this is who I am.
Although High Hopes, one of the last songs we sang was inspired by my Aunt Diane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to play?
Let's play a song. Let's play Time Like a Lay. and then we'll play our Christmas song and call it.
Yep.
Sweet.
All right. Okay, gotta do drop D for this.
I'm excited about that Christmas song.
Yeah,
by
I
the
can't
way.
wait for the Christmas song.
You shouldn't be.
Don't get too excited.
I mean, this is the Christmas episode on KrohnKast,
This
everybody.
It's the first one and probably the last one before Christmas.
We were like, should we play this song? And then we saw the advertised as a Christmas special, and we're like, okay, we gotta play this.
Oh,
Yeah,
almost-
it was
yeah,
this morning.
almost
She was
definitely.
like, "Hey, what song? What Christmas song? I mean, do you think we could play a Christmas song?"
Yeah, it was just-
And yeah, as a big Wham fan, I was like, "Oh yeah, Last Christmas," you know. And she was like, "What about Santa Baby?" So stay tuned, Santa
Ooh.
Baby
Ooh.
coming right up.
Another very generic Christmas song.
Tis the season.
That's right.
Sorry, I gotta have my reverb. Sorry. It's throwing me off.
Time like a leaf keeps me spinning till I think I'm gonna break. It scalds me like a man with shaking hands, thirsting for water on dry land. But I know that this mold will take new shape, and I know that each crevice has a story to tell. And though the wind feels that I might break, the wheel turns. Oh, with each flaming spark that fell, I learned to love. Time like a leaf keeps me spinning till I think I'm gonna break. Just when I am starting to feel safe, it sheds my skin and once again I take new shape. But I know that this mold will take new shape, and I know that each crevice has a story to tell. And though the wind feels that I might break, the wheel turns. Oh, with each flaming spark that fell, I learned to love. each flame is spark that fell. I learned to Santa baby, just slip a table under the tree for me. I've been an awful good girl, Santa baby, and her down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, an outer space convertible to light blue. I'll wait above the dear Santa baby, and her down the chimney tonight. Think of all the fun I've missed. Think of all the fellas that haven't kissed. Next year I could be oh so good if you check out my Christmas list. Santa honey, so on the yard and really that's not a lie. I've been an angel all year, Santa baby, and hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa cutie, there's one little thing I really need. The do platinum eyes, Santa cutie, and hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, fill my stocking with a duplex and checks. Sign your ex on the line, Santa baby, and hurry down the chimney tonight. Come and trim my Christmas tree with some decorations bought at Tiffany's. I really do believe in you. Let's see if you believe in me. Santa baby, forgot to mention one little thing. A ring, and not the kind you get on the phone, Santa baby. So hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry down the chimney tonight.
Very good.
Thanks, Bishop.
Hey, I know, this is so beautiful and fantastic to have you guys on here, and just it's Christmas and everyone's happy. It's the end of the year. Are you guys looking forward to the end of 2020.
2020.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh God.
Absolutely.
You ready to start a new year, a new chapter in Della?
Yes.
Woo!
Although, okay, I feel like
Mitchell.
2020's got a real bad rep, but let me say, let's just shout out to 2020 for the positive that it's brought.
What's
Like-
that?
Like, being forced to be introspective and being forced to find like
There you go.
what comforts you and like what the good is.
Emily's always finding silver linings and things, and I really respect and appreciate that about her.
Yeah, I wish. Couldn't we all do that?
We can have a whole podcast on Enneagrams right now.
Do you guys have anything you want to plug real quick before we sign off?
Like us on Facebook if you haven't already. I feel like if
Yeah.
you're watching this, you probably already have. But look out for our next EP, The Flow, and go purchase if you're looking for last minute Christmas gifts. Go purchase our albums because we need help.
And there's
So here
also
we are.
that ambient gig.
And
Call
There's
us for your house
anything.
party, man. New Year's coming up. You need
Hell
a house.
yeah.
You need a band.
$2,500.
I
It-
feel like this
yeah.
is like $1 million idea that we should get together. Because I mean, if you think about all the musicians on the coast that could benefit from something like that
Absolutely.
to create an agency, so to speak.
And that's the thing is like I feel
Mm.
like this is such a pivotal time for musicians to rely and put their necks out for other people to reach out to them because we don't necessarily have the bars and the music venues.
Absolutely.
You gotta just reach out to other people.
Do you would you be open to like legal representation, like having a manager, having a agency, represent you, or would you prefer to like stay independent and off the books and just kind of play it as you see fit?
Depends on the fine print.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say absolutely we would have wanted that before we both had like jobs and a kid. Now scheduling's always an issue,
Yeah.
but yes,
Yeah. Before, like when we first got married, we were 100% seeking like a full-time thing with Della, but we've both got pretty sweet gigs right now, and right now we're just looking for the creative fulfillment.
I feel like it comes that comes with the price of heavy marketing,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then anteing up on how much you want to put in to
Yeah.
get out
100%.
and
you really have to go full, pedal to the floor.
scheduling,
that.
Yeah.
nannies and babysitters and grandparents. We gotta go play, Lollapalooza, and we need you to watch the kid for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
and-
But managers, call us if you want.
For real.
If you want us to open for Beyonce,
Yeah.
like hit me.
$2,500 a show.
That's right.
for you
2,500.
brothers.
Motel 6 every night. Premium
right.
VIP. But thank you guys for coming on. Seriously, that was great.
I don't want anybody to think that I didn't get Phil anything for Christmas.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, go ahead.
so this giant,
Very
Yeah.
impressive.
huge Maker's
That's-
Mark
Yeah.
bottle that we've killed half of between me and Josh
Yeah.
and Phil
Yeah.
tonight.
Well-
that was my gift to Phil.
And thank you for that. And what's interesting about when I drink whiskey, it doesn't go to my stomach; it goes to my heart,
Aw.
and that's what's important.
It's like the
Aw.
Grinch effect. Your
What
heart
is your
like
heart saying right
enlarges.
now?
Yeah, grew 2 sizes today.
Yeah, my heart doesn't know what to do because it's drunk. No, I'm just joking.
You guys, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on
Very
tonight
awesome.
and playing some tunes.
Thanks for having
This has
us.
been the most amazing intimate performance I've ever been to. This is I think this is the way to finish out the year for sure.
Absolutely.
We've done, this is episode 19.
Yep.
Ah.
And we got one more episode before we close
Yep,
out the
we
year.
got Rushmore podcast on the
We,
27th. Yep.
Clocking in 20
Wow.
before the end of the year. And
Yep.
starting only starting what, like a couple months ago.
Yep. I'm looking at houses. It's going to be big stuff.
Looking for sponsors is what we're looking for.
Yeah, I need to
Awesome.
put rims on my car. Thanks, guys. Episode 19, Della Memoria in the books. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.